so excited. This program wasn't well known to all of us. It wasn't told by our command. We heard it by word of mouth, or happened to run into a graduate that had been fortunate to go through this program and told us that it would be life-changing. And when we first got here, we were a little bit dazed, confused, lost, and nervous, and sadly, we were scared. Coming from the military, we were brought up, even from the basics at boot camp, you're going to do this for the team. We were no longer individuals, we were an intricate team member. Just like your hands and your feet, it all works together to work beautifully to accomplish the mission. And now we're going to be transitioning into a different part of our life. We're no longer part of a team. We're by our own. So we were very nervous and somewhat apprehensive. But thankfully, the first week of REBOOT, we were able to understand personal development as a person instead of a unit, thinking as an individual, and we became self-aware. And one of the things you're going to hear from our many graduates is something called Spokeswoman. And some people may not understand what that is, but we didn't realize that when we were told we're going to be retiring, separating medically by maybe right-sizing or military right-sizing, that when we were told you're going to go to the world and be successful, we were excited, but we didn't know what to do or what we were looking for. So they told us how to clear up our scriptomas. To give you an example, is when you look in this room, you see the walls, the ceilings, the beautiful glass, and the beautiful people around us. And if I asked you, did you see the stars? And all of a sudden you're focusing on the stars on the flags, the stars on the posters behind you. Now your vision is focused. And we were able to see there were opportunities and nothing to be afraid of, because now, instead of seeing the whole picture, you see how it applies to each and every one of us for our goals. The second week, we understood our vision and had an idea of how to plan for that vision. Because before, we were always told where to go, what tools to use, what our mission was, and who to talk to on the other side. When you're transitioning from the military, you really didn't get that. So now we have the tools to do this. Plan what our vision was, what we wanted to do in the community, for ourselves, and for our families, and plan it. And we put it to paper. That is extremely important, because everyone can talk, but we all know talk is cheap. So we put it down so we could visualize it, just like you do a honey-do list. Except this list wasn't something to be begrudged. This was something to look forward to. At the end of that second week, we started this third and final week. And this is where we were able to understand how to plan and network, how to use our resources, because before we thought we only had a resume writer and maybe a buddy that we knew that got a job down over at John Hughes. That was about it. We understood we could use the internet. It's not only for Facebook, which is great, and we've been able to use it in our personal lives, but we could also use it to help out others. They always say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And we're able to network, something that many of us in the military, especially if you don't have the privilege of retiring, you don't get that opportunity to exercise. So we were able to go online and to network and to post our resume, something non-traditional, especially in the military. If you fill out a form, you're not taught how to draft this resume. At the end of this week, and before we're about to graduate, we are able to realize and reflect, and that's why you see many of our graduates very happy. Because when we first came here, I was a leader, I was a team member. And during the process, we decided I could accomplish this. And at the end of the day, we were able to say, I am. And with this great journey, before we're about to start, you need to have words of wisdom. And with that words of wisdom, we have our illustrious speaker. Bob Schultz graduated from Stanford University in 1974, and then he went on to become a commissioned ensign and complete basic underwater demolition SEAL, BUDS training. He completed that in Coronado, California in 1975. After that, he served as a Naval Special Warfare Officer for 30 years, with numerous extended tours overseas in a wide variety of commands. During his career, he commanded SEALs and special boat personnel at all levels, leading up to commanding the Naval Special Warfare Group 2 in Little Creek, Virginia. His last assignment in the Navy was as Director of Leader and Character Development at the United States Academy, giving back from his organization. Sadly, he had to retire in July 2005. Shortly after he stepped up in his current position, it was a sad day in the Navy. We lost a great a happy day for him. He became the Director of the Master of Science in Global Leadership in the School of Business Administration at the University of San Diego in October of 2005. During this time, he and his wife of 31 years had 3 grown children. One is a SEAL officer currently assigned to SEAL Team 8. So he's able to not only, it didn't end with him in 2005, it carried on through being a leader and a role model, and his own son is doing that. Then he also had 2 other grown children who are also doing what we're doing, planning to do, and will be doing, and that's making an impact in the civilian community. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you, Mr. Bob Schultz.